I'm live. Ah! Live number 2. I'm going to wait for some people to get in here before I start the real conversation. The DOT. I just found out recently that the DOT has a new regulation on us. And so I will be talking a little bit more about that in a minute. Am I not live? There I am. It's going to be a little bit delayed, I think. So I don't know if anybody's in here, but yeah, today I plan on talking about some DOT regulations. Something that kind of surprised me and opened my eyes this week, and I thought that more drivers out there should know about it because it's kind of a backhanded regulation by the DOT. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but if it is, I believe it's going to affect a lot of people. So, especially if you look a lot like me. So, oh, all right. People are starting to jump in there. Hi, Living Homesteadish. Nice to see you. All right. So, I want to talk about the DOT regulations, and basically, it pertains. I brought some notes here. It pertains to, you know what? Before we get started here, I want to figure out how to give out a wrench. So let me see if I can figure out how to do that. Oh, there you go. You click on it and then just hit moderator. Manage moderator or standard moderator. Can block. All right, you're now a moderator. So now on your account, you can moderate stuff. All right, so we're like 2 minutes in, and I don't see any people yet. But I'm going to give it a couple more minutes for people to get in here, and then we will get started on the... it's weird because it says on mine, it says there's nobody in here. But, alrighty then. How you doing, Bruce? So it says that there's 3 people in here, but on mine it says there's 0. So we're going to wait a couple more minutes for a couple more people to get in here. I have some crazy... It's kind of a backhanded regulation. Like no one expected to see this coming, and it wasn't passed in a court of law. It was just backhanded. I want to give a disclaimer before we get started. Part two. If you hear roosters or chickens, it's because they're right over there, and sorry about that. Can't control them. Also, one of my neighbors is out there doing some target practice, so if you hear some pop, 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 that's what that is. I'm not getting shot at. So, but it's a kind of a backhanded regulation. They didn't actually pass a law to do it. So we'll get into it here in a minute. I just waiting for a couple more people to jump in here. And there's a rooster. I don't know if you guys can hear him or not, but I can hear him, that's for sure. So, all right. I said I'd wait until we were about 5 minutes in. Sorry, my clock's not up here. It's over here. So we got about 2 more minutes before we get started on the topic of conversation. But if you're out there and you're checking in, hi, pink waving hand Aubrey, and face blue smiling. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that, but that's what it says in my comments. So it's emojis, I know. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I don't know how many people are in here right now, but basically, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this. All right. All right. So hi F8. I saw your comment. All right. So what I want to talk about today is a new kind of hidden regulation that they are going with truckers. Most people don't know about this. I didn't know about this. They started enforcing this about a month ago. And when you go to get your DOT physical, okay, if you don't meet certain parameters, you're going to be asked to go get more work done before you can get your card. And I just wanted to warn people ahead of time because it's out there. So what I want to tell you is there's parameters you have to meet. These are your parameters. If you don't meet these parameters, then guess what? You're going to have to get this, what I'm about to tell you about. So if your BMI is over 33, if you're over the age of 42, if you are a male that has a 17-inch neck, if you are have high blood pressure, stroke, a history of stroke, um, if the gap in your mouth, this is weird, but if the gap in your mouth isn't wide enough, that's a stipulation. If you snore, a lot of you are starting to figure out what I'm talking about, but and if you're a male, okay, you're automatically at risk if you're a male. What am I talking about? When you go get your DOT physical, they're going to tell you, they're going to give you a 1 year, 2 year, 3 month card, whatever it is, depending on your health conditions. Well, about a month and a half ago, I got a DOT physical, and I got a year physical card, which means, or not a year, I'm sorry, 2 year physical card, which means I had nothing wrong with me. Everything checked out great. Everything was good. I went to go to apply at another trucking company, had to go take another physical. 1 month later, they gave me a 3 month card. The reason why is because I'm a male. That's a risk factor, just being a male. Don't ask me how that's okay. But because I'm a male and my BMI, yes, I'm a little bit on the chunky side. You know what I mean? Over 33. And I know this has surprised everybody, but I'm over the age of 42. So there's 3 things right there checked off against me. So automatically, I was red flagged, got a 3 month card. I actually had one more. My neck circumference is 18 inches. It's only allowed to be 17. So basically, if you don't meet these government restrictions, then okay, let's keep it clean. It's a family show, mister. He's talking about the distance from his forearm to his elbow. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. All right, so basically, if you can't pass those parameters, they're going to send you for a sleep apnea test. Now, let me explain to you why that's important, okay? It doesn't sound like that big of a deal. But let's say they send you for a sleep apnea test. You get a three-month card, which means in 3 months, you're going to have to do this again. The reason why they're giving you a 3 month card is if you fail that sleep apnea test, you have to go on a CPAP machine for 3 months. 3 months, and show that you can actually be on a CPAP machine for 3 months before they'll give you a long-term medical card. Now, I could understand this if you had symptoms. If you were snoring really loud and stopped breathing when you were sleeping, or, fell asleep while you were driving. I get it, okay? It's important safety hazard. But for me, I have none of those, okay? So for me to have to go take a sleep apnea test is, to me, really dumb and a waste of my time and money because I have to pay for the sleep apnea test. They didn't tell you that, did they? So it's kind of a hidden backhanded regulation. So, huh? Oh yeah, actually, sorry, I have some help again today. My wife and my daughter are helping me with comments and letting me know what's going on. So when I get talking, I don't miss things. So yeah, F8, I'm sitting at home. I think if you listen to the conversation, you'd understand why. And you might have a 17-inch neck. I don't know if you do or not. Never measured, don't want to. But I'm going to warn you, if you're over the age of 42 and you're one tiny bit over 17 inches around your neck, guess what? One more perimeter and you're going to get flagged to take a sleep apnea test. So it's all right, David, if you're a little bit late. Normally when people are late, we just make them wait at the end of the line. Might be 4 or 5 hours before we unload you. But this time I'll let you in. What was I saying about sleep apnea? All right. Well, basically, they're passing a new regulation. Well, not they're passing. They didn't even send this out to be passed. Basically, the DOT physical that you take to become a truck driver, if you meet certain parameters, they're going to send you for a sleep apnea test. This is something new that they're adding to it. Exactly. I'm going to repeat this again because David didn't hear it, and I think it's important to know this. So basically, I went to take I got my 2-year medical card 1 month ago. Went to apply for another company. They needed a DOT physical, which I think is stupid, but whatever. We jump through hoops. That's what we do as truckers. So I went and got a DOT physical. When I was there, I had just happened to have an 18-inch neck. I'm kind of a big guy, so my BMI might be a little over 33. And I know this is surprising to everybody, but I'm over 42 years old. So because of all of those things, not having any symptoms, I have to go take a sleep apnea test, and I only get a 3-month 3-month card. So that's basically why we're talking about sleep apnea. If you go to take your physical and they give you a 3-month card and tell you have to go get a sleep apnea test, you got to pay for that out of your own pocket. By the way, I paid $175. I had to see a doctor, get a test mailed to me, sleep overnight, and get the results back. It takes about a week to do all of that, and that's because I did the hurry up, rush one. So I'm missing some comments here. Let me get to them really quick. Yes, I think he meant I'm trucking now. It says I'm tracking now. Is the snoring a problem because you'll wake up and the other truckers at the rest stop? No, Bruce, I don't think that's the problem. Even though, I'll be honest, I've heard other truckers from my truck snoring away. So I saw your live today, F8. I know you're not 42. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure you're old enough to drive. So be careful. They're going to catch you because you're underage driving. You look a lot younger when you shave all that hair off. I'm telling you, you look like a teenage boy. Yeah, I know, David. That's exactly. I was worried too. Like I said, I'm over 42. My BMI, I'm a big guy, so my BMI is a little over 33. And just being a male, just because you're a male, you're automatically, that's a risk factor. Females aren't a risk factor until they're post-menopausal, however you say that, when they're done with their menopause. So yeah, just being a guy, that's all it takes. So you're 46, David. No, see, if you're a big guy like me, you might have something to worry about next time you go take your physical. I want to know if they have. I don't know if they have dropped yet. F8. He's driving. I think he's probably listening in the background. Yeah, try F8. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. I mean, we got 7-8 people in here. Good job, guys. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. Let me see. How many do we have right now? I don't know. I can't actually tell that. So I don't know how to tell that. But I'm new to the whole going live thing. But let me see. Did I miss anybody's comments here? I'll go back here real quick. No, the snoring at the truck stops. I've actually heard other truckers snoring, but no, that's not why. It's because sleep apnea is actually a dangerous thing. You can fall asleep while you're driving. Bro, you've met me. I'm a little guy. Yeah, I know, F8. I know. But there's other things too. If you're a diabetic, if you have high blood pressure, if you're over the age of 42, I don't think you are yet. You're like, what, 19 or so? If you're a guy, well, heck, you're a guy. Right there, you have a risk factor. You're a guy. Just being a guy is a risk factor, you know what I mean? So you might not be there yet, F8, but you're going to get there soon. You might want to think about it. It's going to affect a lot of truck drivers. So it's going to affect a lot of truck drivers out there, and no one's talking about it. Nobody knows about it. And so I thought for sure I need to make a live about it to let people know what's going on. If you know anybody that's a truck driver, hey, share this over to them so they can hear it too. All right. Sorry, I got behind on the comments here. Where was I? I want to know if I have dropped yet. F8. Oh, that's right. He's driving. I did read that one. Me too. But I've lost like 30 pounds over the winter. Yeah, I mean, I've actually recently lost close to that myself, but I'm still over that number. So, and I'm apparently being fat, old, and, a guy is enough. So, F8 says everybody thumbs up. Coming soon. I'll start in school in April 3rd. Oh, David, that's right. I remember in the live, in F8's live, you did mention that you're going to school soon. Congratulations. I will. This is what I will tell you going into school. They're going to teach you how to pass the CDL test. They're not going to teach you how to be a driver. So once you pass that CDL test, make sure you get a job where you can actually be trained and learn how to be a driver. And it's a long process that'll go on the rest of your career, but it starts with you understanding that you're always going to be learning. You're never going to know everything about trucking. There's 1.5 million truckers out there and 1.5 million truckers that know more than I do. So that's how I look at it. You're a retired firefighter medic. Huh. I bet you got some stories about that. That's got to be that's got to have a lot of. It jumped on me. There it is. F8 says, keep it clean. It's a family show. That's right, F8. Keep it clean. It's a family show. You're the one I was warning about that. So keep driving. Keep your eyes on the road. Just listen. All right. As the show goes on, I'm gonna make a couple people moderators because I don't have any moderators in mind yet. F8, yes, you're getting a wrench. You gave me one, so I got to give you one.
Which one? First or second?
All right, so let me get back onto the comments here. Whoever says, yep. Bruce says, yes. After 42 and a guy, you grow your muscle under your lips. What? Your mustache under your lips. Sorry, not muscle. I can't read, guys. If you don't know that about me yet, I'm going to mess up all of your comments. It's just expect it. Right now, my wife is laughing like crazy at me. It's just the way it is, okay? Yes, after 42 and a guy, you grow your mustache under your lips. Okay, then. I mean, here. I have a mustache here, too. Here. There you go. All right, so. There you go, Bruce. That's for you. All right, so absolutely, yes. I don't want to talk about that stuff, please. What don't you want to talk about, David? I won't make you talk about it. Don't tell me what you don't want to talk about, but I'll try not to talk about what I don't know what you want me to talk about. So that's what I was saying. Basically, the DOT regulations, they're sneaking in back in doing the sleep apnea test thing. And if you've already taken your CDL test and you already are lined up with a job, you're probably fine. You have nothing to worry about. I am going to a vocational school for CDL training. I'm going to a vocational school for CDL training. Then I have a local carrier that does regional Midwest. Hey, there you go. It sounds like you got it all figured out. And that's a good place to go. Go to a carrier and just, get a good 2-3 years under your belt. Get all the knowledge you can get. Get all the knowledge that you can get out of that carrier. And while you're learning, things are going to happen. But it's happening on their dime when that's going on. So, all right. So that's awesome, David. That's really awesome. Getting back to the regulations thing. So this made me start looking into regulations that were coming. Some of this stuff you probably already know. Some of it you might not. My rooster says hello, by the way. Some of this you might already know. Some of this you might not know. But a few other regulations that are coming down the pike, these were actually voted on and passed. Most of them, anyway. Is that Garner? Yeah, Garner. Yeah, I've seen their trucks. I actually don't know much about them, but yeah, I mean, my big thing would be I have probably the big five, the mega carriers I would stay away from. But outside of that, get your experience, make sure you're making enough money to survive to get your experience. And then the better money is once you get that 2 to 3 year experience, then you can definitely do it. Link, send me a link. Oh, must not be driving. All right, hang on. I'm going to bring a guest into the show here. Invite a guest. All right, give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to send a text message to F8 because I think he wants to join us. So give me 1 second. This might affect the screen. It might not. I don't know. And I'm back. Did it work? I don't know if it worked or not. Hello. Hopefully it worked. Yep, I'm back. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know how to send a link any other way, so I had to send them through text message. There you go, F8. I sent you a link. You can jump in here. I don't know how I'm going to be able to hear you though. How does that work? I've never actually had somebody else in my live, so F8 might be coming in here. I don't know how I'm going to know when he's ready to come in. I guess it'll alert me somehow. All right, guys, stop crowing. So, I forget what I was talking about.
Yeah, the regulations.
Other regulations. Yeah, there are some other things that are coming down. Like some of them you know about, like the speed limiters. They're saying by mid 2023 to around November range that'll all be into starting those regulations. They haven't set a speed yet, or how wide spanning this is going to be, but speed limiters are going to be out there. I don't agree with it, but at this point, it almost feels like as a truck driver, you just keep getting pushed around, and you get what's coming to you. Hey, everybody that's in the chat, if you haven't done it yet, make sure you hit that thumbs up and throw a comment on the board. Let me know that you're out there listening. If you have a question, feel free to ask. Another one that I saw coming up, I'm trying to remember. F8, did that link work that I just sent you a text to? Here, let me look on my tablet real quick. I want to make sure that worked.
All the audio information. You have to put all your information.
Here, I'm just going to drop it in the comments. And wait, how do I comment on my own thing? I don't even know how to do that.
How do we get to it?
You can't get to it. It's a live stream. Sorry, some technical difficulties, guys. I'm not real good at this live stream thing right now. Trying to figure this out. I'm trying to get F8 in here. He wants to come in here. Yes, 7 miles ahead. I can park. All right. Well, I already sent you the link. When you get parked, it's in text messages. Go ahead and hit me up, and I will. I'll invite you in. So, but until you get there, you learned it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I am learning. Every day of my life, I'm learning. See all this gray hair? That's everything I've learned. See all this hair that's gone, that fell out because I'm old? Yeah, that's everything I forgot. So we're gonna have F8 join us. Well, I'm trying to remember what else I was gonna tell you guys about the regulations I was looking up. There was a couple different ones, but I have it saved in my screenshots. Oh, I know another one. Yeah, my wife's over here helping me, guys. She is wonderful. I'm telling you what, best woman in the world. But she's mine. You stay away from her. So the other thing I was going to talk about when it comes to regulations, it's kind of funny because this whole thing threw me into a rabbit hole of finding out what's coming. They're actually very close to passing a law if it hasn't already passed already, where they're going to transmit all of your information to way stations and upcoming police officers before you ever get to them. So before you ever get there, they're going to know um, who you are. They're going to know who you haul for. They're going to have your license number, the DOT number that's on the truck. They're even talking about putting load information in there. Like they're going to know what shipper you're hauling from and to, and how much your load should weigh. And like they're getting way high tech. Now, this is much closer than I would think it would be, but they're saying that this is going to be by the end of 2023. That's going to go into effect. So, yeah, it's like the regulations from DOT. They just keep piling up. Now, the two that I just talked about, they were both voted on and either passed or going to be passed soon. The one I started with was never voted on. It was just an added requirement that DOT. Sorry, my chickens are being really loud. So they're not usually this loud, but my the DOT actually just implemented it. Never even voted on it. Never told anybody it was coming. And like I said, it just hit me now, and I took a physical a month ago. So in the last month is when this is taking effect. So from this point forward, if you're going to get a DOT physical, and you are old and you are a male and you're a little chunky, guess what? You're going to take a sleep apnea test. What I would advise people to do, if I'd have known this was coming, I'd have taken it before the test, and I'd had the results there. There you go. See, I'm good. But yeah, you can. Yeah. So that's what I was just about to say. My wife's reading my mind over here. So what I would, now that I know this, what I would have done is I would have went and ordered a test ahead of time. You can order them online. I forget what place I went through. I'll probably make a video about it eventually, but the order online, it's $175. It counts doctor visit. All they do is they talk to you for about a half hour, ask you a bunch of questions, look in your mouth, and then they send you a test. The test takes about 3 to 4 days to come in the mail. It's just something you're wearing on your finger that can actually tell if you have sleep apnea by oxygen levels and things like that. In the future, I would do this 3 months before my physical date. The reason why is because if you fail, then you have the 3 months to get the CPAP to prove that you're using it before you go to your physical, so that when you go get your physical, you can still get a 1-year certification. Because with sleep apnea, you can get a 1-year certification, but you have to have a long, at least a 90-day record of being able to use a CPAP machine on a regular basis. So, yeah. I don't know how long it takes him to drive 7 miles. He does drive a little slow. I understand. He's trying to save gas. So he should be popping in here in a minute or two. But yeah, so that was 3 regulations that I kind of dove into. There's many, many more that look like they're probably coming. But so it says that I have 8 people in here. Did everybody go hit that thumbs up button? I don't know. I haven't looked. I don't know how to tell that or not. But if you haven't, go hit that thumbs up button. And if you have anything you want to comment on about the DOT regulations, go ahead. Throw it in there. Tell me your experiences. I mean, I think the sleep apnea thing is kind of underhanded because they didn't warn anybody. No one knew it was coming. Like I said, if I'd have known, not that I want it to happen or I think it's okay, but if I'd have known, I could have prepared for it, which would have made everything a lot easier. But no, that's not how it works. So they just catch you on the day and bam, right upside the head. New regulation. So David, you're getting into the trucking industry. I hope I'm not scaring you away too bad, because there are a lot of good sides too. I mean, it's kind of funny. A very wise man, and I think he's in here listening. He didn't tell me this, but I saw it by example. My dad used to tell me, no, I'm not scaring you. Good. He used to tell me that you should do something that you enjoy. Now, the wise man that's in here didn't tell me that. He showed me that because he enjoys what he does. And so it kind of made me see that life could be great like that. Oh, the rest area was full. I've been there. What time is it? Rest area is full at 5:30 in the afternoon. Wow. That's kind of crazy, actually. Okay. All right, F8, no problem. I'm going to be on here for a little bit longer. If you see another one or somewhere you can pull in, I'll be on here. So I think that link's good for the whole time I'm on. I don't know. You would know better than me. You're Mr. YouTube Live guy. You and DIY and Cash. Always on DIY. Always on YouTube Live. So, uh, but yeah, and if you haven't guessed, yeah, I know F8 personally. We talk on the phone, and I also know DIY. So if he jumps in here and says something ridiculous, he's just messing with me. So, which he will do if he's out there. If you do something that you love, you will never work a day in your life. Yeah, that's it's a very romantic thought, and it's true most of the time. But here's what I'll say to that: there are days you're gonna wish you never got into trucking, no matter how much you love your job. I love to drive a truck, but there have been some very, very bad days in trucking where I wish I never got my license. But then the next day I'm driving and it all seems good again. But you'll have those days. All right, Bruce said, I need to turn my tablet sideways to see the thumbs up feature. Well, then turn it sideways and hit that thumbs up. All right, so yeah, actually, you know what? Since I'm on here and I just told you about really bad days, I'll tell you about one of my really bad days. Since you're a new truck driver and you're gonna, these are the kind of things that, and it kind of ties back into the DOT thing too. Not really, but kind of. So, about a year and a half ago, I'm picking up a load, and I'm driving down. I had like 3 pickups and 1 drop, which means I had to pick up at 3 different places, and I had 1 drop. Thanks, Rebecca O. Woodward. She said, if you exit out of the chat, you can see it under it, like a normal YouTube video. Then you can click box into the live chat and click back into the live chat. Well, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to mess it up, but I actually have my tablet over here and I can swing down, and it doesn't do that for me. It just says there's only 1 thumbs up, so that can't be right.
No, that's just your thumbs up.
Yeah, I know that. So that's but thank you for giving me the pointer anyway, Rebecca. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody that's watching today. Right now we're up to 8 people, so we're rocking 8. Beat my last one. My last one was 7. What was I saying? Oh, so I was driving down the road, and I was yeah, that's right. Give myself a thumbs up. Actually, I give myself 2 thumbs up because I got 2. So don't hit it twice though, because it undoes the thumbs up. So I was driving down the road. I was in Illinois. I forget the name of the town, but I was in Illinois, and northern Illinois, and I was driving down a road, and it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. No, that 1 thumbs up was me. I know it was, because on mine, that's all I see is just my own. So driving down the road in Illinois, and I'm going like the speed limit's 45. I'm going like, I don't know, probably 25, because my turn's like 300 yards ahead of me. So I'm slowing down, getting ready for this turn. And I look up, and there's this guy. And there's this guy coming. There's opposing lanes like this, right? Guy coming at me, and I see him, and all of a sudden I see him kind of coming over a little bit. Like, here's the line, over, and he starts crossing the line. I got nowhere to go. There's a ditch on my right, and he's coming up on my left. So the only thing I could do, I got a lot of people commenting all of a sudden. Just remember, hit that thumbs up, guys. That's all that matters. That's what they're chit-chatting about there, I think. So there's a ditch to my right? And as I'm coming up, this guy's coming over, and I knew I had 2 choices. Either I'm going to hit him heads on. He's going like 55 miles an hour in a 45. I'm going like 25, about ready to turn right, but I'm not to the turn yet, so there's nothing I can do. I had no exit. So I just got over to the right as far as I could get, and he came over and just went right down the side of my truck. Just started at my front fender, drove all the way down, down the trailer to the end of the trailer and then cut back across and ended up on his own side of the road. So the reason why I said it kind of tied into, no one died, promise you. The dot regulations is he fell asleep. I don't know if he had sleep apnea. They say he wasn't drinking, he didn't have drugs, but he fell asleep. That's what happened. And because he fell asleep, he crossed over the line and went right down my truck. So that was one of the days that I kind of was like, I don't know if trucking is really worth it, because I've said this many times to my wife and to a lot of my friends. If somebody ever dies and I'm at the hands of my hands are on the wheel of the vehicle that kills them, whether it's my fault or not, I'm done driving. I couldn't handle that personally. But so yeah, but he wasn't even really injured. He was afterwards. He got out and he was chit chatting with me, and he told me he fell asleep and apologized. And yeah, but then the cop came and the cop was like, "Yeah, it's his fault. He fell asleep." Blah blah blah. So but let me see here. Did I miss anything besides y'all's thumb up conversations? Let me see here. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves too. Must be a delay since we're all only seeing one thumbs up. No, I've seen it on other lives too. Basically, if you totally exit out of live, which I don't want you to do, and then you totally come back in, it will refresh the likes, and then you'll be able to see it. So we're having a whole dilemma here in the comment section about the thumbs up button. Who knows? Who knew all that? By the way, I'll mention it. If you're on Facebook, if any of you guys are on Facebook, go follow Driving with John on Facebook. I now can have diamonds issued on my videos. What does that mean? Basically, it's a better way of saying thumbs up. What's it mean for me? When I do get monetized, I get paid for those diamonds. So I'm not monetized on anything yet. So I'm just doing this for fun. If they want to pay me, then it'll be fun, and I'm getting paid. That's all. So it says 7 thumbs up right now after exiting. All right, Rebecca. See, she did what I said. She exited out and came back in. I should check. So, you were both lucky. Yes, yeah, in that accident, I'm sure that's what you're referring to. Yeah, we were both lucky. I'll be honest. If I wasn't paying attention, it would have been a head-on collision, and he probably would have been dead. And that scares the heck out of me. So, yeah, I'm glad I was paying attention. I did see him coming over the line, and I got over as far as I could. So he only sideswiped me instead of head-on collision. Because with me going 25 and him going 55, it's not a pretty end, and a head-on collision with a 18-wheeler, especially one that is. At that point, I probably had 25,000 pounds on my trailer, so I was going to pick up the last part of the load. So, but yeah, it was a bad day. But you'll have days like that, and I'm not saying you're going to get in an accident, but it could be many different things. It could just be a day where you're stuck in traffic all day. Trust me, I've had many of those. Going through Atlanta, traffic sucks. So I feel like I'm only talking to David here. Do you have any questions, David? Since you're getting into truck driving, you probably have 1,000 questions. The reason I'm going into trucking is because it is the only job that I can have my service dog with me 24/7. Yes, I know all of that stuff. All right. Well, that's cool. That's cool that the company lets you have a service dog with you all the time. That is a really cool thing. Actually, I'm not sure that. I thought employers had to let you have a service dog with you if it's a service dog. I don't know. You'd probably know better than me. But yeah, no, that's awesome. And I will tell you, truck driving in regards to accidents. Yeah, I knew what you were saying. That we were both lucky in regards to accidents. But the top one is only for certain people. The bottom one's for. Oh, what are you doing? Oh. All right, sorry. Yeah, they do now. Yeah. But I'm hey, getting into trucking, right now, being a company driver, if you're with the right company, it's a good decision. It really is. Now's the time because you have that security of being a company driver. maybe the market will do an upturn. And, if you want to become an owner operator at that time, I would encourage anybody that has experience to do that. I wouldn't say do it right off the bat, but how much food and water do you carry on your truck? It depends. In the summertime, well, let's be honest here, I don't carry a lot of water. I'm not a water drinker. Should be. It's horrible for me, I know. But I drink a lot of that, and I bring it on the road with me. I probably bring probably 3 to 4 6-packs of these when I go out, and then I usually end up buying 12 packs when I'm on the road. 12 packs of Mountain Dew, of course. Water, I usually buy a case. When my son's with me, we'll go through that, or my wife's with me, we'll go through that case pretty much in a couple of weeks, but maybe less. But when it's just me on the road, I might go through 10, 12 bottles by the time I come back home out of the case, which isn't healthy, I know. Food, basically, you're gonna want to well, if you're anything like me, I don't eat breakfast, number one. I snack throughout the day, and then I usually eat dinner. So for me, I usually once in a while bring Pop-Tarts for breakfast, or a Carnation protein drink for breakfast. Snacks would be like Ritz crackers, chips. If you want healthy options like celery, things like that, depending on what you like. For dinners, it's all microwave food. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's either truck stop food or microwave food. You can eat healthy. It's a lot of work, but I'm not real good at that. I buy a lot of microwave food, so I stick to coffee, black, iced tea, and water. Well, there you go. Coffee you're going to get at the truck stops. You can have a coffee maker in your truck, but I'm not sure how that would work. So, and iced tea and water you can bring with you on the road. Just bring as much as, if you're going to be out 2 weeks, bring as much as you drink in 2 weeks. If you're going to know you're going to drink more than what you can on your truck, bring on your truck, then just plan somewhere after a week or so to swing by a Walmart, because it's much cheaper to get at Walmart than it is at a truck stop. So I do plan on cooking on the truck. Good. I see a lot of guys that, matter of fact, I don't know if you follow or if you're subscribed to Catch King Trucking. He has one that's also called Trucking with Diabetes. He has like a hot plate skillet, actually cooks up like real good food on there. There's another one too that I think it's Kelly's Kitchen or something like that. Kelly's Transportation, something like that. They do a lot of cooking jobs too. I think I have a guest. Let me see here. Oh, all right. I don't know how I'm going to hear you though. Wait, what happened?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you. I was
Can
wondering
you
how
hear
that
me
was
now?
going to work. I was wondering how that was going to work. So this is
Yeah,
F8,
should
guys.
go.
For anybody that doesn't know F8, he's got an awesome YouTube channel. He does a lot of blogging, talking about what he does. Don't listen to him. Does a lot of blogging, talking about what he does day to day, and it's a pretty good channel. So if you don't watch him, go watch him. So what's up, man?
I appreciate that, Jeff.
You just taking a break?
Yeah, I'm going to stop and talk to you for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, then I got to get back on the road.
All right.
I got to be in Illinois Monday morning, and I'm on Highway 68. I don't even know where I am. I think I'm still in Maryland, maybe West Virginia, one of the two places.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
David said you sent him to me this morning when I was on the live. I saw that he did that.
Yeah, David's been in my live feeds lately.
Yeah.
I shared it out again. Hopefully more people come. It's hard starting out doing live shows, you know what I mean? And try and get on with like DIY or Cash or somebody, you know?
I'm on with you. I'm famous.
I am not them in any regard.
Oh, let's be serious here, all right? So I started my YouTube channel 2 years before you did. You have more subscribers and you're monetized. You're obviously doing something right. So,
well, I had help. I didn't. I had help. People like I shared this live that you're doing out. I've shared other lives you've done. people just did that. Like certain people
Yeah.
watched it and liked the video and started sharing it out, and it just slowly grew. I mean, you grew your channel way faster than I grew mine. You know what I mean? Like
In
how
3
quick you got.
years.
Yeah, but you started putting out all those shorts and building up your channel. You know, I don't do that. YouTube, I like YouTube, but it's a very consuming process.
Yeah, it is.
And my time is spent better doing other things other than YouTube, even though I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know,
Did you catch the beginning? The new thing that they're doing. I know you don't qualify because you're like 12 years old and you know your neck is like 3 inches around. You know, but someday when you get old and fat like me, you might have to worry about it. You know.
yeah. When that day comes, I'll worry about it. Until then, I'll
Well, I
keep
just
doing
think
what I'm doing. No, it's
I think
there's
it's
all kinds of.
backhanded that they do it without giving anybody any warning. You know what I mean? That's the thing that kind of caught me off guard. It's like no one knew this was coming. I looked online. There's no information about it. So
Yeah, that's the scary thing.
yeah,
But there are so many rules and regulations that we have to follow, and I get why they're. I mean, no, I don't get why they're. If they really cared about safety and like drivers' well-being and stuff like that, there would be better rules and regulations in place than what currently are in place.
I agree.
But what do I know?
I agree.
I'm just a dumb truck driver.
Hey, speaking of safety, Bruce says you shouldn't be drinking and driving. When you came in, you had a soda in your hand.
Oh, I'm not driving. I'm parked.
Yeah, you're parked. It's okay now, right?
It's okay, Bruce. I'm parked, and I'm drinking a diet soda as well.
I'm drinking diet. Now. See, I don't drink decaffeinated.
I heard you talk about water. I keep 2 gallons of water in the truck with me at all times.
Well, there you go, David. Now you know, because David was asking. See, I'm a bad example. Asking me how much food and water I have in my truck is probably not a good idea because I drink much more Mountain Dew than I do water, and my food is all microwave crap that I buy at Walmart. So,
I mean, I have microwave food on my truck, but I also have a bodega, which is a dual purpose cooler. So it's a freezer that freezes. Like I have, if I want ice cream, I can carry ice cream with me. So I bring like ground beef and pork chops and stuff like that and freeze it at home. And then when I get into the truck, I can put it in the freezer in the truck. And I have, a little 12-volt lunchbox cooker and a propane stovetop or whatever. And I do a lot of my own cooking. I mean, I do treat myself to food occasionally, but I try and eat cheap and I try and eat healthy.
yeah, that's my
If
thing.
that makes sense.
That's why I go to Walmart to do all my shopping. I try to go as cheap as possible. David Edwards says that he's leaning towards bringing 2 cases of bottled water on his truck. It depends on how long you're out. I mean, if you're going to be out for a while, yeah, that sounds like a plan. But
go to Walmart and buy, the 36 pack or what is it, the 24 pack. I mean, unless you're drinking a gallon, 2 gallons of water a day, you're not going to go through it.
I'm looking at one right now. It's a 40 pack because I just bought one for my truck. So, but yeah, it's like $4. You get a 40 pack.
That's something else you should talk about because at one time we kind of had a very similar style trucks. We had Mack trucks. You have to be worried about like your room and how much storage you have and what to bring on. I'm starting to get questions like that, like how much clothes do I bring with me? And this might sound funny to people, but I bring like 10 to 12 pairs of underwear and the same amount of socks because I need clean underwear and clean socks every day, right? I don't care if I wear the same sweatshirt for 2-3 days. My pants, I bring 5 pairs of pants. I bring like 6-7 t-shirts and hoodies.
Yeah.
But I bring an excess of underwear and socks.
Yeah. Basically, it depends on the time of year for me. If it's wintertime, I actually bring more clothes in the wintertime because, the chances of getting out there in a cold area where you can't, you have to be stuck for days on end. But in the summertime, I mean, I bring jeans, t-shirts. I even have shorts. I know I'm not supposed to. Shorts, socks,
You can
underwear.
wear shorts.
Huh?
You can
What?
wear shorts.
Oh no, people hate flip flops and shorts are totally against the rules. I don't do flip flops, but I do shorts.
I
So
don't do flip flops either. But
yeah,
yeah, I wear shorts.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's an old school thing, and I get it. They like it the way they were brought up in it.
I don't wear basketball shorts. Like I don't look like I just got out of bed. You know what I mean? But you know, to
Yeah,
each their own. I'm not wear what you're driving all day.
that's
Be
right.
comfortable.
You're in your
Be
house
comfortable.
driving all day, so you might as well be comfortable.
Yeah.
Basically, you just got to look professional when you start and when you end. In between, you can be comfortable all you want to be. So,
Yep.
so he says, yeah, he was worried about space also, because I guess his dog's with him, so he's worried about the space thing in the water. So, yeah, definitely, it's better to have a little extra than not enough. Um,
So that's something that I kind of envy um having a dog, but I also look at things like, and I'm not going to tell somebody they shouldn't bring a dog or an animal on a truck. That's their business. I
well,
know for what I
it's a
I know
service.
for what
It's a service dog.
okay. I was going to say I know for what I do, I couldn't take care of an animal.
Yeah,
That there's no way I could care for an animal the way that animal needs me to care for them. As much
exactly.
as I would love to have my dog with me, she would love it, but I know I wouldn't be doing her any good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I always joke about getting a truck dog to bring with me, but I'll be honest, I'm a little lazy, and when I've been driving 11 hours, the last thing I want to do is get out and walk a dog for 20 or 30 minutes. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm too lazy. I'd rather not do that. I'll get after I'm done with my post trip, I get back in, I lay down, I'm done. I'm done for the day. So
Yep.
I don't know, but some people love having the dogs, and I get it. That companionship, you know what I mean? It gets lonely out there, but when it's winter, it's nice because you can put your water in the compartment outside and keep it cold. Oh, that's true. Depending on what kind of truck you have. In my Mac, I had two compartments. In the Cascada, there was only one. But yeah, you can put your water underneath and it help keep it cold, and then just grab it
Oh,
when you.
I could even freeze it.
Yeah, or freeze it.
That area doesn't get heat.
Yeah.
A
Well,
lot of people think it does. I mean, it gets heat because it's technically inside the truck,
right.
but you'll realize once you get in a truck, like the cold air that's in the bunk is coming from that that open area underneath the bed. It's not insulated. It's nothing. So like, I mean, it'll stay cold, but I mean, you'll even freeze stuff. I've freezed water and soda
Yeah.
like slush,
Yeah.
putting it
But
underneath there.
you also drive in the Arctic, and I usually try not to. Don't you know?
Don't start. Don't start.
Yeah, he said having a dog will also motivate him to get some exercise too. Which, hey, again, that's true. It
Yeah,
will, but it's a service animal, so it's something he has to have with him. And hey, I think it's awesome that he gets to do that. But it's not something I would be able
yeah.
to do. So, huh?
Please don't take. Please, anybody, don't take. I got this like oversized truck trying to park alongside of me, but don't take my critique as like a negative. I'm merely speaking from my perspective. Like there's times I get to a shipper or receiver and I haven't slept in 17, 18 hours. The last thing I want to do is take an animal outside and walk it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Or throw a ball. And the reality is a lot more shippers and receivers aren't allowing you to take your pet out of the truck.
that's true.
Um, yeah, I mean, I understand people need animal companionship. Like I fully get that. I like I said, I envy it. It's
Yeah.
just I know, you know, I know I wouldn't be doing an animal service.
I'll tell you, Scott, earlier on your channel today when you're doing the live. Oh, I'm sorry, F8. I don't know if I'm allowed to use your name.
Yeah, you can use my name.
Okay. I don't know. So many rules out here. I know,
My
Scott.
name's Scott. My
Yeah.
name is Scott.
I know.
Super Scott.
So, on your live earlier, you were talking about how business and stuff like that, and how you want your channel to be like 500,000 or whatever. It got me thinking. Once you get, and you're going to get there. Once you get to whatever number you want to get to, you know what you should really do? You should have two channels. You should have a channel that's talking about your vlogging, your loads, and then you should have a channel that's just focused on the business of trucking, because your story in the business of trucking is a blueprint of success, and people need to see that and hear that. You know what I mean?
I don't know how to answer that.
Are you trying to be humble?
Like you know me personally, so like the ups and downs and some of the struggles I've had
Well, you're
being an owner operator. What was that?
You're going to have that in every business, but yes, you've had ups and downs, but your trajectory as a truck driver and owner operator, especially, has been going like this, and because you were prepared and you did the right things. I mean, I'm not going to contrast myself with that because mine was the opposite direction, but because I didn't do the right things. But I'm just saying, when your channel gets big enough, you should make a channel talking about the business of trucking, break down the numbers. I think people would be interested in that. So,
Well, maybe that's something to think about. But here's the thing, and I mean, John, you know that
I know.
Like we're friends, right? Like I'm not going to pretend we're not. We're friends. we joke with each other. We don't need to talk about that. But the reality is you just made a very good point, and I know I'm touching on kind of a sore subject because of your truck. What you're experiencing right now sucks, and not that you're not going to be able to jump back and get back on your feet, but like we did have the exact same opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. Like we can agree on that.
100%.
100% the same opportunity.
I agree.
And it's polar opposites right now. That's not saying you did things wrong and I did things right. There's a difference.
I admit that I made some stupid mistakes. And that's the thing. You have to be willing to admit and see what you did wrong so you can fix it, not make those mistakes again. But I forget what I was going to say there for a second. My mind just went blank. But yeah, I mean, we joke around a lot with each other, but I was just being serious right there. You know your numbers, you know your crap, and so does DIY. I'm not saying he doesn't. Obviously, he's taught you a lot, but your approach to it is so matter of fact. Like, someone asked you if you went to a truck show today, and that's a big deal to a lot of people, and you're like, it doesn't really affect me. All I worry about is gas mileage, and because you're so focused on, this doesn't help my business, this does. This doesn't help my business, this does. Most people aren't that way, and some people kind of need that focus. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You're a good example. That's all I'm saying. So
I appreciate that. Like I said, there's positives and negatives, and there's ups and downs. And I'll say this: I think you made a good comment to David not that long ago about, hey, if the market changes, maybe you want to become an owner operator. I spent 20 some years as a company driver. Yep. You know what I mean? And not just a truck driver. I had multiple jobs in the transportation industry. I was a dispatcher. I was a shipper. I had so many different jobs, but I always found my way back to the seat. And then over the years, I was just like, you know what? This is something that I'm going to do now. I'm 40, I'm 40 years old. It's time that I either make this move or like just forget about it. You know what I mean? And I was at a point in my life where my daughters are, they're always going to need a father figure and they're always going to need dad, but they don't need me every single day.
Yeah.
So I feel like I was in the right position and the right opportunity, and I ran with it. There's no secret. That's the thing. And I don't mean to rant, but there's no secret in being successful, right? Like, you work hard, you save your money, you listen, no matter how freaking much experience you have. You listen to people that have done something different than you, and you build off of that. And then you find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And then you continue to adapt and you continue to change the model of what you want to achieve. I don't think that's hard to do. And maybe that's because I'm a cocky person by nature, but I don't think that's hard to do. I don't live well. I also don't live outside of my means. I mean, for me to sit here and say, like, being an owner operator gives me all this freedom, it gives me freedom and the ability to, like, spend more time with my family. But, like, I don't pay myself a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mack trucks are better than internationals. Nice. I like that. You can keep your MP8. I'll keep my Cummins.
I just decided, since you were talking, I was listening to you, but I wanted to play with the banners to see how they worked. So
I don't even know how to do that. I don't mess with that stuff. So good for you.
I appreciate you coming on here. I really do.
Oh, John, I enjoy talking to you, man.
David, I saw that. I think I learned a good bit from F8, not as much as I learned from DIY and Cash, but still learned some good things. And then he said, "LOL." I'll tell you what. You can learn a lot from everybody you talk to, everybody you watch on YouTube. Just be careful what you watch and what you believe. You want to verify everything, because not everything on YouTube is 100% accurate. And sometimes things look prettier than they really are. That's all I can say. So, but you won't find that with us. We're real. We just talk about real stuff. So,
I'm glad you learn a lot from DIY. A guy that, like, jumps into pools and sits behind a desk, and
you know why he's not in here right now, right?
Because he's freezing his ass off, probably.
He's probably at home under electric blanket going, "Why did I do that?"
Yeah.
It's for the kids.
I've learned a lot from those two guys. And you know what? You should learn more from them than me. They have way more experience being an owner operator than I do. I'll say this: I have taken things from both of them and implemented it into what I'm trying to do, and they don't always agree on stuff. Cash and DIY don't always see eye to eye, and I take things from both of them that work for me. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
If you find something that works for you, build off that, and don't let somebody tell you what you're doing is wrong. Like, if it's working for you, continue to, like, exploit that. Continue to do it.
Yep. Yeah, don't broke it if it ain't fixed, or don't fix it if it ain't broken. Said it backwards. No, I mean, I've learned a lot from DIY myself. I don't know Cash. I'm not in that same seat as Scott is, but I've learned a lot from DIY. I've learned a lot from you, and it doesn't matter if I'm in the truck industry in school like you, David, or 50 years, even though he looks 18 like Scott, or 5 or 6 years like me. You can learn something every day from somebody. I can learn something from David. I can learn something from Scott. I can learn from DIY. I can learn from Cash. Don't limit yourself to think that you can only learn from certain people. You can learn good and bad from everybody. So that would be my. I know
you went to truck driving school too, didn't you?
No. I just took my thumb. Guy picked me up and I started driving his truck, and away I went.
Well, no. The reason I say that is, like I learned stuff from people that went to truck driving school because I never did. I
Oh,
got
really?
my CDL back in 1999, 2000 era, where all my experience was on the job training, and
When
the
you were like,
company paid for my license. I took the test in their truck. Like I didn't go through any truck driving school.
yeah,
You know, I read a book. I took a couple of general knowledge tests, a road test, and I had my license. And then I was behind the wheel the next day
right,
with a trainer.
right. Yeah, the only difference between that and what they have now is you get 3 weeks to a month to learn how to pass a test. They don't actually teach you how to drive a truck. They just teach you how to pass a test. And then they put you in, hopefully you get with a good company that will put you in with a trainer that's going to teach you for a month or so at least, maybe longer, and then go from there. But and my story is I went to CDL school. I graduated. I was trained for about a week at one company, went to another company and drove for them. um, my trainer slept during the daytime or slept during the night and I drove, and then during the daytime I slept and he drove. He didn't teach me a darn thing. And then I got my own truck, so I pretty much am I tell everybody I'm self-taught, even though I went to school. They taught me how to pass the test, and I learned everything else on my own. So um, that's why I got my paramedics certificate.
That's when.
That's when I got my that's when I got my paramedic certificate. My wife, if you can hear in the background, she's actually correcting my reading. I think you should do that because you have the same problem I do. It's so tiny you can't read it on the screen, you know. But
Here's the thing. Some of us work and don't get to sit next to our wives all day and have them read stuff off a screen for us.
that's true. That's true. Oh, we have a new commenter here. Mr. Top 20. I don't know if you've ever seen that channel. It's a good channel. Says he got his CDL in 3.5 days. I actually know his story. I don't know if he minds if I tell it, so I won't. But um, yeah, he legitimately got his CDL, never been in a truck before, and in 3.5 days had his CDL and was driving. And that wasn't that long ago. So 1999 is when David got his paramedic certificate. I'm guessing that's what he means by that. But yeah. So I don't know if there's any more people in here than before, but
Go ahead.
oh, all right. Mr. Top 20 said I can tell a story. All right. So real quick, Scott, you'll get a kick out of this story. So Mr. Top 20 is a friend of mine. Okay, obviously, but he worked at a company. I won't say the name of the company, but we'll say it's a big package moving company. And he worked in the building, and then did a couple other things, and he had a truck driving job position come open. He said he wanted it. They sent him to training to truck school. 3.5 days later, he came to the CDL and he was out on the road driving. 3.5 days. Went from never driving a truck to 3.5 days later driving. Now, that being said, he's a very talented driver before that. So my feeling is he probably picked it up really quick, but I guarantee he didn't know everything that you're going to know coming out of a driver's school after a month.
Well, the other argument I would make, and this is not an attack on your buddy at all. We wonder
Okay.
why more.
Apparently,
we wonder why more regular.
Sorry, apparently I'm allowed to say it works for UPS. So go ahead.
Well, this isn't okay. This is strictly my opinion. I am not attacking UPS or your friend.
He won't
Disclaimer.
me. He's a good guy.
Disclaimer. We that story is exactly why more regulations are being put in place.
Mhm.
And yet then we wonder why there's more regulations being in place.
He would agree.
That is absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah.
Like and I'm not knocking your friend at all. Like that process is the reason why there are more regulations in place now, because that shouldn't happen. Like that shouldn't happen, and that's not a knock on your friend at all.
No,
I'm just saying,
I
like,
take it as a knock. He says he still doesn't know very much after 8 years. He's being modest. Okay. Actually, to be 100% transparent, the reason I got into trucking was because of him. And so
well, why don't you go work for UPS and make $100,000 a year?
well, I'm not saying how much they do or don't make, but I am saying that, you know, on my bad days I have someone to blame it on, and on my good days I have someone to say thank you. Every time, ask him. It's all his fault. Never mind. So,
Oh, I'm tired.
are you tired, man? You look tired.
I am, and I still got to drive.
How far you got to go?
592 miles, but I'm not driving that all tonight.
Yeah, that'll be Monday probably. So,
Yeah, I have to be there by Monday.
yeah. So you'll put like 200 more on tonight, and then the rest tomorrow, or maybe 300 tonight. I don't know how long you've already
Yeah,
driven.
probably another 300
Yeah.
is what I would like. I have a destination in mind.
Okay. All right. See,
I
David,
don't want to share it.
I want to use him as you don't need to share anything. I want to use him as an example, though. See, he planned his trip out. He has a destination he wants to make it to. Very smart. Don't let yourself hang yourself out to dry by not planning out your trips ahead of time. So I'm just
Where
seeing he's in CDL or starting CDL school soon. Just trying to give him little pointers that would help. You know what I mean?
April 4th, I think, is when he starts.
I think he said April. Yeah, beginning of April sometime. He said,
April 4th. He said that in my live today.
yeah, he said it in here too.
Well, Lottie freaking.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, it's probably not a horrible time to get into trucking because he's going to start as a company guy. He's going to get 2 or 3 years experience during a downtime. It's going to swing eventually, and when it does, it might be perfect for him. You know what I mean?
So, what do you consider a downtime? Like, I know rates are low, fuel is high. So many things are messed up. But is it really a downtime?
Well, see, if you're talking to DIY, he'll tell you no because it was worse back in 1903 when he started driving. But I will tell you, I can bust at him. He's not here. When I started driving, it was basically at one of the best times in trucking as an owner operator, I should say. It's a company driver. It didn't matter. I'm a company driver. But as an owner operator, I started driving at one of the best times in history to be an owner operator. So, you know, when you start here, anything below that's a downtime. So, yes, we're a downtime. But no, I get what you're saying. In reality, if you're careful and you have contract rate, it's not that bad out there, you know?
Not even that. If you are basing the market off of what you started in, that was absolutely historic.
It was.
Once in a lifetime.
I know.
Like,
well, I'm gonna live to be 200, so I might see it again.
Oh, you're gonna be like who, Abraham, or I'm trying to remember people that I read in the Bible. Noah. You're gonna be one of those guys that lives forever.
I don't know Bible where any of them drove rigs, but I'll take your word for it. Abraham, I guess he drove a rig. I don't know.
I don't view the market based on what I experienced when I became an owner operator.
No,
I got in.
When I say
I got in,
that's what I'm associating it with. That's why I'm saying that. In reality, it might be a little low, but it's not much below middle right now, middle of the road type stuff. But right. That's
the problem is
really is. But when you talk on YouTube, most people that are listening only remember the last 2 to 3 years. You got to realize that even if they've been driving 20, the last 2 or 3 years is their reference point. So if you look at it that way, this is a downtime. Yeah. And with inflation going like it is, Scott, you have to admit that's got to swing back our way.
What?
Like with inflation, everything costing more, eventually it's going to have to come back our way.
I agree.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with the trucking industry.
No, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Trucking industry is we might agree to disagree on this one, but the trucking industry is directly tied to the economy. The economy goes well,
Oh,
the trucking industry goes well. The economy does bad, trucking industry is not doing well.
I'm not saying it doesn't affect like the economy. What I'm saying is that doesn't create like the down. Okay, so last year, right? We can admit things drastically changed last year
Yeah,
in trucking, correct?
correct.
My average for the entire year, this is gross, rate per mile was $3.33. If you are not profitable at $3.33 per mile gross to the truck, you have no business being an owner operator. Like, that is very harsh. I will get ridiculed for saying that, but you have no business being an owner operator if you are not profitable at $3.33 a mile.
I agree.
The problem is everybody, when economy is good, everybody thinks they have all this money to go out and spend. It's no different than the housing market. They're going to lower interest rates. They're going to give you a loan that you have no business really having. That's why so many people live paycheck to paycheck, rent check to rent, or rent. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem that we have as a society. We always think we can afford and want more than really what we can afford.
No.
And that's not the economy's fault. That's our fault.
That's it's actually a cultural thing, I think. But yeah, I agree 100%. David says it's basically keeping up with the Joneses. And the problem that he sees is that people don't know their cost per mile, which is true, all true. So, oh, and David said, I guess Moses in the Bible drove a truck. I don't know.
Here we go. No, and I don't mean to like be rude or
Hey Scott.
whatever.
Hey Scott, look down at the screen. What do you think of my hat?
Can't read it. Jesus is my boss. Okay. You don't want us to go down that road.
I just made you read that on YouTube. Haha. That gets you back for all those other things you used to do to me. So
hey, I was talking today, well, never mind.
we'll talk.
We'll talk about that off a live show.
Yeah,
because I have a very funny take on something that I think you'll laugh at.
Okay.
Because it's humor, but.
Thank you, David. I like my hat too. Yeah. We'll just say Scott is one of those guys. David, this is a good example for you too. Scott is one of those guys, and he'll tell you it's true. When it's late at night and you're not going to fall asleep, but you're just tired and drained, and you need someone to get you energized to talk to on the phone while you're driving, that's Scott for me. Like I call him in the middle of the night and we'll argue and joke around and laugh and have a good old time, and sometimes end up happy with each other, but it keeps us awake and it gets us to our destination safely. And we both know at the end of the phone call, no matter what's said, we're cool. So you need to find a friend like that so that when you're out driving, you get in those same circumstances, you know the same exact thing to do. So
find a friend.
And that's how we basically built our friendship. We're that guy to each other.
Find a friend that has different political views than you, believes in magic. I'm just kidding. And find somebody different than yourself, because here's the thing. And I just made a joke that literally is a joke, because I have been taught things from you, from other people that have a faith that I might not share, but I've learned things and it's opened my eyes, and even like political beliefs. Like find somebody that's different than yourself, that is like able to have a conversation and joke around. Like you brought up, we argue. Yeah, we argue, but like we end up laughing and joking with each other about a topic that when we really break it down, we tend to agree on many things versus like disagree. You know what I mean?
I've changed your mind on a lot of things. You're right. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Don't make it so easy.
No, it's just it's important. It's important to have
It
these
is.
type of conversations with people because that in the end that's what it comes down to. We're human beings,
Yeah.
right? Like we're human beings. We should treat people with respect. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody is entitled to speak their opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You don't even have to like listen to it, but you don't tear people down for their opinions. I know, I mean, you could rip me apart if you wanted to, based on some of your belief structures, but you don't. You talk to me in a very friendly way, and I talk to you in a very friendly way. Even though there's times that we have, butt heads
But,
pretty damn hard.
but in reality, like I said, those times, it kept us awake when we wanted to be kept awake and got us to where we were going safely. So that's the thing.
Well,
And
here's the thing too. I would go out of my way to help you.
yeah,
Like if you really needed help with something, I would go out of my way to help you. Like you're a real person, like a good dude.
I'm real. Oh
You
my
know
God.
what I mean?
I am
Like
real.
you're a good dude. You're a good dude.
Chatting on the phone, or CB makes the miles melt away. Oh, that's true. I'm not much of a CB guy. I turn it on when like I know I'm going into an area where things could happen. But I'm not much of a CB guy. But yeah, a lot of the old school guys, they that's how they stay awake is they chat on the CB. But
Like,
I'm more of a phone guy. So
hey John, I gotta run here, man. I'm getting tired of sitting here, so I need to get trucking.
yeah, get trucking, man. I'll talk to you later.
All
All
right,
right. Stay
take it
safe.
easy, man.
Stay
Yeah,
safe.
have a good day. Later.
All right. KB1 try. So if y'all don't know him, that's F8 Trucking, aka Scott. So good guy. Follow his channel. Subscribe. You can make those friends in training too. Yeah, that's true. I actually met Scott through a job, and I know Top 20 Trucking or Top 20 Trucking. Excuse me, Mr. Top 20 from childhood, and I also have friends that I've made in training in trucking, and the combination of the three, I have probably a good 3 to 4 people that when I'm really tired, I got someone I can rely on to stay awake. So that's basically, that's where he falls. He's a good guy though. Yeah, he's telling F8 to be safe. Oh, there's his channel. Thank you, Aubrey, for dropping F8's channel. If you're not a subscriber to F8, check him out. He does a lot of blogging. If you're into trucking, you'll really like his blogging. He basically tells you where he's going, how many stops, how many picks, little details throughout his trip, that kind of thing. He's more of a vlogger. I'm more of just a hot air type guy, but it's a good channel. So, yeah, and going back to that other comment earlier, KB1 try. I guess that's how you would say it, KB1 try. It's weird because I there are times I'll have my CB on for days on end and never hear anybody talking. So it's been a long time since people use the CB that much, but the phone is definitely a good way. It'll make the miles melt away, and if you're good at multitasking. All right, Quinn. So KB1 try is Quinn. We all know that now. Thanks for coming into the live, Quinn. I appreciate it. You're a driver, I'm guessing, by your comment. Makes the miles melt away. I can get rid of this banner now. Hang on. It's kind of annoying me now. There we go. I got rid of it. That's cool. I learned how to do a banner now. How do I go back over the comments? There it is. All right. So I've already been on here almost an hour and 24 minutes. I really appreciate everybody sticking around and chit chatting with me. If you know anybody that the DOT things that I talked about earlier in the show affects, which is pretty much every trucker, either now or in the future, is eventually going to run into that issue, because there's enough things on that list where Scott's a great example. He might not actually be that guy that gets flagged for that this time, but as he gets older, he's going to get older, so you're automatically going to be flagged if you're older and if you're a male. And then one other thing, he gets high blood pressure, bang, diabetes, bang, anything, any other thing you could think of, they're going to check that box, and then he's going to be in the same boat. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the beginning. The DOT regulations part, basically, when you go to get your DOT physical, they changed a couple of things. So I got to really cut it short now. Like I said, I've been on a very long time. I appreciate everybody being on, and go back and watch it if you didn't see it yet. And we'll see you on the next video, the next live, or maybe you'll catch one of my shorts, because life is supposed to be funny, guys. Laugh and have a good time. Bye.